feeling so good from the inside out. Better than your morning would feel without. Stretching our self-awareness like a muscle every morning with your first podcast in 3D. 3D. How are you doing out there? Welcome to another True Love Tuesday. It is 5:41 a.m. on Tuesday, October 5th, 2021. Are you ready to feel better? Objectively. How's that even freaking possible? With the help of your only no nonsense podcast brought to you through the Best Feeling Network. And with the help of your own body baby from the inside out. As in, what are we here doing today? Just feeling so good, moving our self-awareness around, using a few body magic tricks to feel so great in that body of yours, in this simulation of ours in which we die every 5 minutes. But that timer is reset with a breath. Are you ready to feel so good in 3D with your host, Herbie? This is Pal Go On. Thank you for coming through. Welcome. Come through as we stretch our self-awareness like a muscle right now. Before we go ahead and talk about love is weakness on True Love Tuesday. Love is weakness. As in, love itself, having love is a weakness, Herbie? Or perhaps love and all things regarding love is regarding weakness. Perhaps it is that love itself is oriented towards ideas of weakness. Is love itself a weakness? Is having love a weakness? Or does love itself have to do primarily with weakness? Or does love itself have to do with weakness? Weakness in what? We will discuss here on True Love Tuesday. But first, I challenge you, as we always do, on Pal Go On, as we are breaking down misconceptions brought into us by ourselves and the world, breaking down those misconceptions as we always are. I invite you to hold the controller with me properly today. I invite and challenge you to lock fingers with me, so to speak, in your awareness by pretending that there is a candle in front of my lips and in front of your lips that we're both trying to not put out. We both have a candle in front of both of our lips. We're not thinking about exhaling or inhaling as you allow me to lock awareness with you by both of us pretending that there's a candle in front of both of our lips that we're trying to not put out today. This morning, wherever you are, whether you're walking, whether you are driving, whether you are aligning your spine or whether you are lying down, whether you are in the fetal position, we are pretending that there's a candle in front of their lips that you're trying to not put out. And you're simply thinking about how the back 1/3 of your tongues are vertical, up and down, to allow everyone into your awareness evenly. We are remembering that the tip of everyone's tongues wants to be anchored to the back of the bottom front teeth. As we're remembering there's a candle in front of our lips that we're trying to not put out. And it's just flickering in front of your lips and my lips, and each of us are trying to not put it out. I invite you to imagine this with me. Don't think about putting the candle out, or don't think about exhaling or inhaling. I invite you to simply pretend that there's a candle there and you're not trying to put it out. As we're holding our controller properly today. Together and properly. Good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood indeed, Felipe, as we begin this show right here. We will be right back after this break. Thank you guys so much for coming through. We'll be right back after this short break. Are you ready to supercharge your morning, your life? Are you ready to feel so good, so great in that body of yours? AKA that window to this godlike experience that you are, this vessel that you are, this amazing body that you are. Are you ready to feel so good from the inside out while discussing some topics that will help us make us feel so good from the outside in and possibly from the inside out? Let's stretch our self-awareness. I invite you to, let's get back in that calibration. Let's calibrate together by remembering that the tip of our tongues all want to be anchored to the back of the bottom front teeth, that there's always a candle in front of all of our lips that we're trying to not put out. And we're not thinking about inhaling or exhaling in the typical way, but there is just a candle in front of every person's lips that you think about today. And in front of their lips, this candle they're trying to not put away. They're not trying to put out. And they're thinking about the tip of our tongues all want to be anchored to the back of the bottom front teeth. And to make sure that we are all interlocking fingers in awareness, let's remember that the back 1/3 of our tongues are always vertical, up and down, up and down. Say it with me, even if it's just in your head. The back 1/3 of your tongue is vertical, up and down, up and down, up and down. One more time. Say it with me. I invite you to say it with me. I challenge you to say it with me, even if it's just in your head. The back 1/3 of your tongue is vertical. Up and down, up and down. One more time. Up and down, up and down. One more time. Up and down, up and down. And how does that feel for you? Don't just take my word for it ever. How does that feel for you? Because we're allowing all of these words to enter one ear and out the other, always on Pal Go On. Love is weakness. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Love is weakness. Now, having love? What do you mean, Herbie? Love conquers all. Love can't be weakness. Love is the strength. Love is the strength. But love concerns itself mostly with weakness. We all want to love, yet no one discusses the act of love. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. No more. Is love something that we continuously give out? Or is love something in which we address our own weaknesses? Why? As a human being, you are this amazing you are this amazing tool, you are this amazing vessel, so capable of doing so many things, creating relationships and meanings just by sitting around looking at things, let alone actually actively being part of people's lives. You are this amazing tool with so much potential that you know deep down, yet despite us coming short sometimes, we recognize what potential looks like within ourselves, within others. Human beings, you amazing creatures, you. How can love be weakness when I love so many things and those things that I love make me feel so good and therefore I love them? They be cats, they be dogs, they be candies, they be objects that show patterns in our lives. They may be objects of affection, they may be people of affection. We love so many things. Movies, art, music, dances, people, mystery, solutions. We love so many things in life. How can that be a weakness? Well, aren't there many types of love? Aren't there many types of context of love? So let's make sure that we're speaking of the same love in every sentence that you hear these days, every sentence that you hear throughout life. Context, context, context. Should we overreact and forget that the tip of our tongues want to be anchored to the back of our bottom front teeth? We end up overreacting and realizing that we are assuming that we know what words are being used in what context. However, to love this song may be different than to love a lover. To love candy may be different than to be in love with a person. The same way as to love being lazy doesn't take away from the fact that you can love being active. Although we seem to make that distinction when it comes to human beings, right? Seemingly you can't love this person and you're not allowed to love another person simultaneously. We have many different contexts of love. What is love? On True Love Tuesday, here on Pal as we talk about true love. True love, as in the truth without hatred. As we all know, you are this amazing vessel, this amazing window to this godlike experience that you are. Unlimited potential bursting out from within you. You are this amazing creature with unlimited potential bursting out from within you. And so we know the truth without hatred is the best love of all, for it allows you to access this amazing power that's always within you, that's always before you, that no one can take away from you, that is not beholden to you from anybody else. No one can take this away from you, this potential bursting from within you. And so love turns out to be what allows you access most to this thing within you that will never abandon you. As in remembering that the tip of our tongues want to be anchored to the back of the bottom front teeth. The candles in front of the lips that we're trying to not put out. Telling someone the truth about how they are feeling or how you are perceiving them without hatred, so that they can see themselves in the same way that remembering that the tip of the tongue wants to be anchored to the back of the bottom front teeth allows you to see yourself. What is love, if not the truth without hatred? So that one may orient or just guide this inner power bursting out from within them better, as that is the strongest and most immediate power they'll always have forever. What is the way you love someone most? Get them closer to that power, because that will never leave them. Same for you. I ask you to please remember that the tip of the tongue wants to be anchored to the back of the bottom front teeth, as we leave our swallowing muscles alone. So love is weakness. As in, when we want to love people, what should we concern ourselves with? Love is weakness, as in when we want to love somebody, what do we concern ourselves with? When we want to love somebody the best we can, understanding that the best power is always from within us, the best power to be the best possible human being, the best, whatever that might mean, the strongest power to reach the utmost potential coming out from within you, this amazing window to this godlike experience that you are, able to create business, create metaphor, change people's moods, change the weather somehow, change buildings, change nature itself. These human beings, so limitless potential. Without all that potential, could we possibly output what we've always been wanting? Could we possibly output the love that we think that we can give to somebody without accessing this stronger version within us, this stronger design of you before you, as in remembering that the back 1/3 of your tongue wants to be vertical, up and down, to create this relationship with yourself. So when we want to love someone, do we concern ourselves with what? Perhaps the weakness stopping our fullest potential from coming out to love them the most that they can. Love is weakness. As in, love is you dealing with your own weakness so that you and your best potential can go out and be as loving as possible to the ones you care about. The only thing stopping you from the potential of loving and feeling the love that you know that you deserve and you know that you want to give to others is weakness from the inside. How do we love others best? We handle the weakness that is afflicting us so that we can fully let out this human amazing potential tool that already exists within you. How do we give love? By giving outwardly towards what we believe people want? Or dealing with our own weakness in a way that no one else can, so that we can get out of our own way to love and feel the love that we know that we want to and deserve. We'll be right back to hold a candle in front of our lips and to lock fingers in awareness. My name is Herbie, and we'll be right back on Pack 1. Welcome back to the second half of the show here on Pal Go On with your host Herbie. It is Tuesday, October 5th, 2021, 6 o'clock a.m. on the dot. We're reaching the second half of the show here. We reached the height of the show here. Talking about how love is weakness. As in having love is a weakness? Like, feeling love is weakness? Or that love is about weakness. And dealing with said weakness and tempering said weakness so that one can be ready to love and be there for others when the time comes. For we already understand that our needs must come first, right? Our needs always should come first. Gotta take care of number one first. So how can we love others first? How can we love others better? By taking care of number one first. Love is weakness because we all have weakness holding us back from loving the way that we know that we want to love. Getting the love that we know that we want to get. Our weakness is stopping us from being there when we know that we want to be there. Whether that be weakness towards addiction, whether that be weakness towards laziness, whether that be weakness in sense of strength in dealing with physical suffering, internal suffering also. Weakness in being punctual and being on time, that might be a weakness. How do we love other people better? Investigating our own weaknesses because no one else can investigate them the way that we can, and dealing with them so that we can become better for other people. In the meantime, or afterwards, and in the meantime. Love is weakness? Love is weakness. Love is weakness and how we deal with it. How do we decide to deal with the weakness? Who do we decide is responsible for that weakness? Love is regarding weakness. Love regards weakness. Love is weakness. Now in this weakness, in this week, here, this, I invite you to lock fingers with me in our awareness as we discuss the weakness. And the fact that love is weakness. Love itself being a weakness? Love concerns itself with weakness. I invite you to lock fingers with me in your awareness right now by pretending that there's a candle in front of your lips, in front of my lips, in front of everybody's lips around you, whether you are outside, whether you are inside, simply imagining people's faces in your mind's eye or whatever. I challenge you to pretend that there's a candle in front of their lips, in front of your lips. And as we are holding our controller properly together in this simulation, every person is trying to not put out that candle that is in front of their lips. And we each are not trying to exhale or inhale. Simply having the intention is good enough. And as we are holding our controller properly, we are acknowledging the fact that each of our tongues want to be anchored to the back of the bottom front teeth during this entire process, no matter what you're doing. Maybe you were looking at a computer screen, maybe you're looking down at your lap, and maybe you're looking up at the sky. Maybe you're looking to the left to the door, maybe you're looking right at the wall. There is a candle in front of you and every person's lips that you are thinking about. And we switch from a visual awareness to the world where we allow the light to splash onto our eyes. We switch from a visual awareness to an alignment awareness, a design awareness in which we become aware people not through the vision that meets our eyes, but we let our eyes become the secondary source of information and place into our primary mind's eye the candle in front of everybody's lips that they're trying to not put out. Remembering that the back 1/3 of their tongues want to be vertical, up and down, up and down. And just so we can hold them in our awareness, tenderly, meaningfully, the same way you would click on a unit in a 3D video game to understand more about that person, that unit. We want to hold everybody in our awareness the way we hold ourselves in our awareness, to create a oneness, so we are interlocking fingers in our awareness by remembering that every person's tongues wants to be anchored to the back of the bottom front teeth. And when we hold them in our awareness, we do not hold them with that shaky, insecure vision sense, that vision sense that feels like it can be snatched right away from you the second you blink, the second you look away, but rather we keep them into our awareness by remembering there's a candle in 3D space in front of their lips. There's a freaking candle in front of everybody's lips that they're trying to not put out. As we let our eyes' soft focus go into a blur and become the secondary source of information as we move and orient ourselves in 3D space as beings with candles in front of their lips. Like they were holding a controller, they hold a candle in front of their lips, just floating there, as if that was their controller in life. And it's just flickering there, they're not thinking about putting it out. No matter what you're doing, allow me to fade into the background. Allow this to fade into the symphony that is your world right now. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me the honor of being present in this symphony that is your world right now. Always staying in that beautiful body of yours, allowing these words to go in one ear and out the other. And how does that feel for you? And how does that feel for you wherever you are, despite me blending in to the orchestra that is your world? How does it feel when we challenge one another to pretend that there's a candle in front of the lips that we're trying to not put out? Love is weakness. Love is weakness. Not having love. But to love is to be familiar with weakness, is to know weakness, is to know your own weakness. Love is weakness. No one on earth will know the problems that you have, even your twin. No one will know your problems like you do. Yes, the outside world will see you when you mess up, when you lie sometimes, when in our moments of weakness, when we maybe overindulge in our moments of weakness, when we are late, when we self-sabotage in our moments of weakness. Yes, the world can see some of those, as the world will sometimes see some of those, and some people will see some parts of that. Some other people will see some flaws in you. Other people will see other flaws in you. But you, the unescapable you, have seen all of those things. Have seen all of those issues that you have, whether or not we want to admit that they are ours or whether or not we want to confront them honestly. Only us will see every time we've missed the toilet, every time we've cheated on a test, every time we've looked the wrong direction, every time we've become aware of an inappropriate thought. Only we know that. And so only we know our true weakness. If we are able to see ourselves and sit in it, and allow ourselves to sit in ourselves and see ourselves by remembering the design of ourselves to begin closer seeing ourselves. Like pretending there's a candle in front of our lips that we are trying to not put out. And just allowing our body to move the way it does to adjust for this awareness. Observing your sense of self as you're not thinking about exhaling or inhaling, but simply placing into your awareness the candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out. As you leave your swallowing muscles alone. No one on earth can know all of your weaknesses the way that you do so intimately if we allow ourselves to look at it. If we allow ourselves to sit and look at ourselves, no one can possibly know our weaknesses the way that we can. And the way that we can do something about it. And yet you are this amazing, powerful creature, right? Able to basically move mountains metaphorically and physically. You are this amazing window to this godlike experience, aren't you? You amazing human you beautiful creature you. I'm able to transmit and show love in so many different ways and to receive love in so many different ways and create worlds from this. You are this amazing being, capable of moving minds, hearts, and mountains. Yet are held back by weakness. Everything your potential could possibly reach, held back by weakness, only able to be affected by you from the inside out. You think you love now. How much love do you think this potential version, godlike window to this godlike experience version of you can love? How much do you think that can love? You think you love now. How much do you think this God thing could love? If you were allowing yourself to reach that full potential. You think you love now, but how much can you love with your full potential? You think you love now, giving all this love and then getting hurt when you don't receive the love back. You think you love now, when you are still marred down by weakness. Imagine how much you would love. Imagine all the types of love you would receive and give when we are not held down by this weakness, as we know that you are this window to this godlike experience that you are. You are this amazing vessel, able to create software, create futures, create plants, create biology, discover the secrets of the universe. Each and every one of you, you amazing potential window to this godlike experience that you are. So what's stopping you from funneling all that power into getting and receiving the love that you know you want? Weakness. A weakness which can only be identified and then assisted or remedied by yourself from the inside out. Sure, we can cry all year about how we want to give love, and it doesn't seem like anyone recognizes that love that we're trying to give out to the world, because doesn't love actually come from the inside out? As in, doesn't love actually come from restraining the crap that you know makes you a crappy person? As we are all crappy people together. Crappy McCrab. Crappy McCrabgrass. We all want to give this love. We all want to give this love to the outside world, getting our feelings hurt when the outside world does not reciprocate this love or does not appreciate this love. Is it because this love is a bad thing? Is it because love itself is a weakness? Or is it because what we thought was not love at all? Perhaps we cannot give love to the outside world. Perhaps we can only give love to the inside world by attending to our weaknesses, which then allows our true selves to really give its potential to the world. Aren't you really not loving the world if you're preventing your potential version of yourself from loving the world? Aren't you being stingy? Aren't you being stingy to the world? The world's like, hey, we know Herbie, we know Felipe, we know Eric, we know you guys got so much power to give to us. How stingy of us to keep our best versions of ourselves from loving the world because we weren't dealing with our own weaknesses. Isn't it more stingy to the world to not deal with your own weaknesses foist? Isn't it more stingy of the world to think that giving love or love itself is this act of giving to the outside world when we have not dealt with our own weaknesses from the inside yet? Because isn't that own weakness from the inside preventing us from being that superhuman that we know we are, and that superhuman can love exponentially stronger than you think you ever can, baby? We used to think this love thing would be here, there, gift card here, golf there, a hug here, a kiss there, a call there. All thin, all shallow things that which could be repeated many times over should we rid ourselves of this weakness to get ourselves out of bed faster, to get ourselves up to work twice as long, to get ourselves to get over things twice as fast. And watch that grow and grow and grow and grow and grow and grow and grow to volumes and sizes simply incomparable to someone outputting love, quote unquote, when their weakness has not been prioritized from the inside out. We'll be right back to achieve this last quarter of the show. I invite you to pretend there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out, as well as everybody else, as we are calibrating and locking fingers in our awareness together so that we don't go nowhere. Love is weakness? Or love is restraining your own weakness? We'll be right back. My name is Herbie and this is Padawan. Love, 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 love. Oops. Welcome back to the last quarter of the show. I'm Padawan. Today is True Love Tuesdays. It is 6:17 a.m. on October 5th, 2021, as we are stretching our self-awareness like a muscle. Where art thou right now? Are you at a diner? Are you at a cafe? Are you near a river? Are you near a body of water like a lake? Are you outside? Is it raining? Or is it sunny where you are? Is it nice and overcast? Is it cloudy? Have we been able to say hello to ourselves today? Have we been able to say hello to friends and family today? Are we remembering to integrate? Are we remembering to stay in the moment? Are we remembering to not hate the time we live in today? Love and weakness. As in, love is a weakness, as in we shouldn't love. Love always wins. But what is love? Baby, don't hurt me. We all know that we're wanting it. We all know that we're needing it. We're constantly talking about this love thing. However, not talking about what it means to give it nor receive it, just orienting off of a feeling. Orienting off of what we know to be a feeling, which is relatable. But as we know, you have this amazing power. You have this amazing geyser of power bursting out from within you. Would you not say love is wanting the best for somebody? Wouldn't the best for somebody being having a close relationship with this amazing eternal geyser of power and wisdom coming from within? That is the design before themselves. That is the ability to see this self. To see what is the self in love and what is the self in fear, and be able to discern the two. The ability to see the self. What is this love thing? Beside this power, as we know, inside, if there was this amazing, beautiful power, if there was this amazing, beautiful element of human beings from within, able that allows them to overcome all things from within, which eventually turns into overcoming all things physically, right? As the spirit decides what the body feels like doing. Not spirit as in a Casper spirit, but more like a mood, right? How your body's feeling, like a mood. And so what your body has energy putting, or what your body has the mood to put energy into, that spirit. That spirit. And so when we have the spirit of wanting to help others, wanting to spread love, wouldn't the most loving thing being creating the stronger relationship with them and that eternal geyser that's coming out from within them that allows them to overcome all things, no matter what they be, whether they be internal struggling of financial hardships or emotional hardships, or feeling like you were abandoned, or feeling like your friends hate you, or feeling like you hate yourself, the ability to overcome all things from within. Would that not be a loving act to allow someone to overcome all things? And so is it not the most loving act to build the relationship between that person and the thing that helps them overcome all things? And the thing that helps us to overcome all things, what is it helping us overcome? Weakness! Why? Because we are this amazing geyser of power coming out from within us that wants to love. We already know that we want to love, but what's preventing us? Weakness, whether that be embarrassment, ego, laziness, getting our feelings hurt, being unable to stay quote unquote attracted to somebody because we can't let go of something. Our own weakness prevents us from loving and getting the love that we know that we want to give and know that we want to receive, because we have this amazing godlike thing bursting out from within us. But it is so very hard to let that thing be free and let it do what it needs to do. Why? For weakness, for fear that we are not strong enough to handle the consequences of letting that geyser burst out. Because aren't there things that make us close that geyser back down? Aren't there things in life that cause us to forget that the tip of our tongue wants to be anchored to the back of the bottom front teeth? There are things in life that make us forget that the back 1/3 of our tongues are vertical, up and down, up and down. And there are things in our lives, there are moments of weakness in our lives that might make us forget that there's a candle in front of everybody's lips, including our friends, families, and foes. There are weaknesses within our own bodies. within our own consciousness, what our awareness is on. There is weakness within us that causes us to forget that even in our foes, there's a candle in front of their lips, as well as my own, as well as your own, that you are trying to not put out, both of you. There is weakness like embarrassment, anger, ego, all kind of the same spirit in different context. There is weakness there within all of us that then distracts us from being able to feel our design, our relationship with ourselves, distracts us from remembering that there's a candle in front of every human being's lips that they're trying to not put out. And so how do we love people better? By dealing with those distractions in a way that doesn't affect other people, in a way that won't encourage the distraction of other people. The unsung hero, how do we deal with the distractions and weaknesses coming from within us before people can even detect them? Does that mean you do it all alone? Of course not. Of course it doesn't mean you do it alone, but it means you address them and understand if we want to love. It's just the case. It's just the case. It's just the nature of the game in which we all already want to love. We all already have the potential to love in the ways that we know. But each of us trapped in our own games of weakness. Even the ability, or even the act of being able to see through that weakness of other people and see that they do love you, or that there is love to be found, is part of the challenge of this love thing. To see your own weakness is to recognize the weakness in other people and to see the love underneath. Love is weakness. As we deal with our own weakness to actually give the love that we know that we can give. I want to thank you so much for joining us. Whether you are a curious friend from Instagram or whether you're a curious friend in real life, I want to thank you so much for joining us for this hour of self-awareness, for that guided breathing as we locked fingers in our awareness. I invite you to join me in pretending there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out, as we're not thinking about inhaling or exhaling. And we reached the end of our show here. Thank you so much for all the likes, comments, and shares and all that kind of stuff. Subscriptions as well. Thank you for the comments, the chats. Mine is as crooked as yours is as crooked as Charlie Brown's mouth, Felipe. I forget which we're talking about. If you mean the tip of your tongue being anchored, or the candle. Charlie Brown is coming up, guys. The winter time, fall time always reminds me of Charlie Brown. Who's with me? I love Charlie Brown. What is love? And baby, don't hurt me. I don't hurt me no more. That is a good question, though. Anyone ever wonder why people start calling their significant baby? It's a bizarre comparison, Felipe says. I've always wondered that. There's something fascinating there. We gotta discover that. As I've always wondered that as well. Why do we call our significant other babies? Do we like it? Maybe because we like babies. You gotta protect the baby. All sorts of reverse language, like magic tricks with like understanding human intention. It's very strange. I love language. Yet nay, yours ain't. Oh, the hairline. Shoo! Hey, shout out Mecca Barber. Shout out big man Sean at Mecca Barber. He did a great job. Thank you guys for joining on in, wherever you guys came from, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Twitch, whether you're on D Live, whether you came from TikTok, Instagram, Discord, or Twitter. Whether you are one of the close homies or a friend off of Instagram, I want to thank you so much for coming through. Whether that be having your expectations questioned or having your expectations met, I thank you so much for spending some time and locking fingers with me in your awareness with these body magic tricks of ours. Remember to please pretend there's a candle in front of yours and everybody's lips that we're trying to not put out. And you're not thinking about exhaling or inhaling. You're just thinking about anchoring how the tip of the tongue wants to be anchored to the back of the bottom front teeth. Suspend the crown gently by a thread. Remember that the weight-bearing portion of the spine is the front. Allow your awareness to move over and think about how the front of your shins deliver the weight, not the back. The front of your shins. And you do not sit on your legs. My name is Herbie, and this has been absolutely Pow Go On. I'll see you tomorrow for Warfare Wednesday, everybody. Thank you so much.